I want to welcome in all parts of who you are on the inside, and I welcome in the outside of you and how that shows up in the world. Thank you and welcome.
How can artists who teach in communities become informed and active partners for addressing trauma? At the Bartol Foundation in Philadelphia, we asked, what if teaching artists were given training in trauma-informed practice and how to apply this training to how they teach? What if we could bridge the gap between theory and practice to make teaching artists true allies in addressing trauma in young people?
I wasn't really sure what my expectation was going into the trauma-informed practice workshop. I knew that it was really important training to have for the kind of communities that we were going into, but I think being in this workshop for the last 6 weeks has really informed a lot of changes in my practice for the better.
As teaching artists work in increasingly complex settings with young people whose lives are challenged daily by poverty, violence, and intolerance, a new set of skills becomes essential.
Teaching artists have this superpower of connection, and this program is kind of reinforcing all the different layers of that superpower.
Our 20-hour training in trauma-informed practice for teaching artists gives them these skills.
Right hand up and make a pinky. This is a midbrain exercise, obviously, right? We're focusing on two opposite sides of the body at the same time and doing this switch.
This training creates a learning community that supports artists working at the intersection of behavioral health, education, social justice, and youth development. Teaching artists can leverage the arts as a tool for young people to consider how they observe, understand, and navigate their world. Being trauma-informed allows us to support students' emotional and relational health while providing avenues for creativity and expression. In this way, we become compassionate partners in each young person's journey to express their creative voice.
I would say, hey, we're loosening up. I'm loosening up with this kid. And now I think we're building trust, which I think is a stronger version. So I'm grateful for that.
Teaching artists also need to be aware of how to care for themselves as they care for others.
Really enjoy the cohort that I'm with and the time that's built in to reflect on the material and also think about my own resilience and self-care through it. There's been a lot that I've personally applied.
Learning and consistently practicing strategies for self-care can help us bring our best selves to this work over time.
Guest artists in music, movement, and visual arts show teaching artists how they apply these lessons in their artistic disciplines.
My name is Shavon Norris, and I exist in the world as a body that supports and encourages humans to explore who and what they are, what they feel, and what they believe on the inside, and find ways to access to build community. And I just did a workshop exploring how to incorporate trauma-informed practices into their teaching and their learning.
The training includes learning about how trauma affects the brain and how that affects student behavior.
No one is the summation of their trauma points. No one is the summation of their traumatic experiences. We are to be trauma-informed for the purposes of growth.
There's a moment in there when you go from here, I'm thinking about it, oh no, that's how I clap on Sunday, or that's how I clap around my room, right? And so just making a note of letting go, right? It's a simple thing, but it's a moment to let go.
I had the pleasure of sharing with teaching artists from the area how their creative arts disciplines support resiliency among traumatized youth, kids, and communities in the area,
and how to incorporate these trauma-informed practices into their lesson planning activities. In our first 2 cohorts in Philadelphia, almost 100 artists applied for the first 24 slots in the training. Our first class of graduates estimates that they will work with almost 1,700 people in more than 40 locations this year, and they will take this training with them wherever they go in the future.
Now I know what I don't know. Therefore, I need more.
Now we want to scale it up, reach more artists in more places, train more trainers, have more impact. Join us.